Good evening, everybody. All right, getting into the holiday season, but as we can see, this uptrend just keeps right on going. So I get constant questions of why is this market going up like this? And fortunately, analyzing candlestick charts, we don't have to know why the markets are going up like this. All we have to do is know that they are going up based upon our analysis. So this is why just adding the little pieces to our analysis. Notice that was a kind of a good sell signal. Let me make this. Strong sell signal. Bearish engulfing. But we also had the analysis that the T-line had been acting as a support level. So when the markets, especially the Dow, pulled right back here to the T-line, visually recognizing that they were sitting on the T-line area and they weren't doing anything that would show a strong sell, like over here in the NASDAQ, that it was indecisive trading right on the T-line area. That was kind of giving us the impression, or they should have given us the foresight to say, all right, they're not really selling hard, so let's see if they're going to support here on the T-line, which obviously they did today, which tells us the price still in this slow uptrend. I don't know whether today was, I guess today must have been an all-time high for the NASDAQ. Is it? All right, and so things like crude oil, still slowly coming up. I say slowly. You can see there's really no definite direction, which kind of shows what my outlook is that crude oil isn't probably going to do too much of any great movement because of the U.S. being able to supply their own crude oil. I've been short on soybeans for a while. Notice what happened right in here, failed, and then did a bearish left-right combo. Notice observe the obvious. The T-line is a very definite downtrending resistance level. All right, so in these type of market conditions, what we're trying to do is there's a lot of stocks that are having uptrends, but what we're trying to do is find the ones that have the stronger uptrends during this market. So our recommendation today on MYOV was based upon what we expect coming out of a big move like this, a consolidation, and notice your Morningstar signal smack dab on the 200. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see another move of this magnitude, which could put you well up into the $20 or $22 range. So I try to find things that have a higher probability of not only moving in the right direction, but moving into the strong right direction. Our recommendation today on I was based upon the kind of the doji sitting right here at the 200, that if it opened positive, we had a good prospect of a doji sandwich, which in itself would tell us that it's likely moving or breaking out of the 100. But you add the fact that it did this over here, it supported on the T-line, it was doing a 5-pan bottom, and now a breakout of a bobble breakout situation. Again, that puts us in a high probability direction as well as a high probability this could be a significant move during this uptrend. So because the market is in an up, obviously we want to make hay while the sun shines. Still no sound. Has everybody else got sound? Jim, tell RM to check his little speaker underneath the list of names. Okay, so I usually have probably 35 to 37 things on my bucket or on my watch list that we're trading. Unfortunately, but because of the steady uptrend of the market, I've got about 51 on there. So as I go through and say, all right, let's look for the best charts, we're in quite a few of those positions. As you can see, the little fry pan bottom J-hook type pattern, doji sandwich breakout right in this area on AXSM. NTLA didn't resist here with that gap up to the resistance level and then didn't back off. Notice how not only is it above the T line, but it's staying above the 3T line. And I probably going out further here, you can see where the fry pan bottom breakout was occurring. What else did we do? Crisp. You can see everything. I mean, this is why analyzing what logical price movements tell us. There's our Friday bottom. There was our J-hook pattern. And who was I showing? Darn, I can't remember. But showing the fact, doing that in the afternoon newsletter, that's where it was. The fact that they gapped up and had a big price move. In the old days, I would have sat here and said, boy, oh boy, I'm going to be rich. Well, now at least I know with that gap up in the overbought condition and moving that far away from the T-line, what's the first thing you want to, or what do you want to do when you see it way up here? Flip to your 10-minute chart. That's the 15-minute chart. This, oops, wrong day. That's why I can't figure this out. So there was that big move. Then, up here, you saw your evening star signal. And then it closed or traded below the T-line. That's where you would have been taking your profits. So we've got a very simple system that just simple trading rules. The further you move away from the T-line, the higher the probability it's going to come back and test it. And when you move that far away from the T-line, especially if you had bought down here somewhere, you've already got an excessive profit. And you can see it's moving excessively, that's my big word for the night, away from the T-line. Get ready to take profits up here. So if you're taking profits up here, what's our basic for the T-line? The further away you move from the T-line, the higher the probability it's going to come back and test it. Well, we've got the visuals to see what's happening right here. Look at what happened on Friday. A bullish harami, basically telling us the selling had stopped. And where did the selling stop? Right on the T-line. This tells us we can buying again. Another J-hook pattern in progress. So all this kind of clearly illustrates that the prices move in expected waves. We can take advantage of that. We know what signals, like a belt hold, does for confirmation of a fry pan bottom. And notice that this wasn't anything unusual either. There's your fry pan bottom being confirmed. There's your J-hook pattern or your classic pattern. So when you see something like this, you know the probabilities are pretty strong that they've taken out some more sellers, that the buyers are going to be in control. So if I see something like this, it tells me not only do I have a belt hold, fry pan bottom, confirmation with a bullish doji sandwich, where do I think my first target is? Up here. Where's my second target? Fill in the gap, and then from there, who knows? Okay. I'm going to just go through some of these because we've looked at them before. Tiva, there's our bullish flutter kicker. And what kept us in this trade? It's never closed below the T-line. Now what's our format telling us? We've had a doji right smack dab on the 200. The simple doji rule pretty much lays it out for us. If it opens positive, the 200 is not acting as resistance, because it's going to move in the direction how they open it. If they open it lower, the 200 is acting as resistance. Maybe take some profits and see what happens as it pulls back to the T-line. Ironwood. There was our little bobble breakout. All we have to do is stay long on this one. Clovis. There's our fry pan bottom breakout. Now it's getting a little bit suspect. You figure this stock has moved from this level, say a breakout right here at 4, and now trading at 10.25. What's our visual alert at this point? First of all, we're in the overbought area. Secondly, look how we're starting to move too far away from the T-line. Now we become a little bit more diligent or attentive. So if this opened and traded around like this, I'd put a safety stop at today's open. Because if it has enough selling strength to come through that level, that means the bears have definitely control of the profit taking in progress. There's AN. Oops, I don't want to do that. There's our classic. Kind of a bobble breakout, J-hook pattern, confirmed by the fact they couldn't close it below the T-line. Where do you think the next wave will take you to? First of all, there's a gap right here. Wave 3 probably up to the 200. We recommended ZM today. So again, this is where you add all your bullish evidence. Look at our trend kicker signal. Because I'm colorblind. Look where the trend kicker signal occurred. Right here at the breakout of this kind of fry pan bottom. What other evidence we have? They couldn't close this below the T-line. Now we've got a trend kicker signal right at the breakout level and right at the 50. What can we kind of assume from that trend kicker? There's going to be more upside. Just want to hang on to this one. Flexion. There's your fry pan bottom. There's kind of your trend kicker doji sandwich. So if it comes up through this level tomorrow, where do you think it's heading to? Right, that same trajectory. and that's probably a worthwhile percentage return. Look at our kind of double doji stage, right? It's the breakout area. Another one that probably has more upside. So we got two problems, or not two problems, two benefits, I guess. When the market's not doing anything, we still have the capabilities of scanning and finding the best trades. Now, there may only be 4, 5, 6, 7 of them to look at in a sideways or lethargic market. On the other hand, that puts us in positions where at least we know that even though when the market's not acting well, we can be in trades, or when the market is acting well, we can identify which ones are the good ones and scan through or kind of cultivate through to see which ones have the best upside potential. The recommendation on Ever was based upon recognizing this J-hook pattern breakout. EVH, there's kind of your J-hook pattern breakout. EXC, there's your J-hook pattern support right on the T-line. What do you think your next likely target could be? So the reason we can identify which positions, which patterns have the biggest upside potentials is because we're looking at things that tell us that if you add them all up like a best friend takeout of a resistance level, another capable move such as that. We don't have to, this is a long dissertation to get to my point, that so often I have people come to me or email or message me and say, I'm just not making a whole lot of money. The market's going up. I've got some positions acting well, and I have got other positions not acting well. And that was usually me back when I was a stockbroker back in the mid-'70s and early '80s. Is I didn't have the visual analysis. Wish I had candlestick signals back then. I would have made people a fortune. But that was most people's problem. I could even remember managing my mother's portfolio. I'd say, man, this market's going up, but we've got X number of positions going up and some going down, so it's just kind of gives us a blasé overall return. At least now we know how to cultivate the positions to where we're in things where they're all going in the right direction at the right time. So now instead of having kind of a blasé return, you start really kicking in and having real strong returns, because hopefully on any given day, it was crisp a few days ago, on any given day, you might have one of these going on or two of these going on, and the others are just kind of moving up slowly. But when everything's kind of moving up slowly and then you have one or two that are breaking out big, that's pretty much a good indication that your returns are going to be enhanced because of those big explosive ones and that you were in those positions at the right time. RX or RTRX is a huge tri-pan bottom. Yes. Let me make this. That was the whole point of getting into this one in the first place, was the fact that you could see this developing. And even from here up to here, that was still a 15% move just to get to the breakout level. Now you're pretty much at the breakout level with the idea that it could get into this zone right here, where it bring you up toward the 200-day moving average, giving you a good 35% upside. Avid, another one. Look how this one started out with that belt hold, and then looks like a little kicker signal, J-hook pattern start. So even if you missed this move, the fact that you saw this move right here, let me make this. If you miss this move, you can pretty well calculate what this move is going to be. About 2.5 points. So at least you know your target from this area should be up somewhere in this range. And our UTHR, there's the kind of the breakout. Still stay long on this. Now, even to get more refined, you know the biotechs were acting well. Look at what Labu has been doing. Now it's broken out real big to the upside. Now remember, there's two things that you want to look for when you see that big gap up in the overbought area. If this wasn't here, it would be more of a warning to me to say, all right, they've gapped this up after an uptrend. Get ready to take profits. On the other side, when you see something where they've broken out, that becomes more compelling that everybody knew this was a resistance level, that they were starting to, or they went right through the breakout area with great strength. So you still put your safety stop right here if you were trading in Labu, but more importantly, this is just telling you that that sector is acting very well. We will do a session when we get back from Thanksgiving. How's that, KS? Obviously, during the holidays, the markets, they should slow down a little bit. But we'll spend more times when it gets crummy out, which hasn't gotten quite as crummy up here in Pittsburgh as it normally does. But we'll spend more time doing scans, stops, entry, all the things that are relevant to the use candlestick analysis. So Netflix, you can see the little scoop type pattern that gave us this slingshot effect. And you can add up everything. A bullish Harami right after you pulled back to the 50. Knowing Denver, I thought they said the northwest, or the north central part of the country was going to get someplace 1.5 foot of snow tonight. So, knowing that we have a signal, and we can see what was setting up, giving us that slingshot effect to the upside, that, again, gives us that better prospect of being in the right trade at the right time with a good price move. TLRD. There's your little scoop pattern right off the 50. That could probably have a slingshot effect back up to the 200. DY. Kind of a scoop pattern wedge that if this broke out through here, you'd probably have a slingshot effect. So you put this on your watch list and see if it can get through that. So because we know that specific price movements are going to create a much stronger potential, you can see how this sideways move in NVIDIA finally broke out today with your best friend signal. Getting to the biggies right now. Apple, a J-hook pattern. Amazon came up strong today. Kind of a little hammer signal, not quite a hammer, but the fact that they gapped it up kind of tells us we're probably in this trend channel, making your next likely target the 200-day moving average. Now on the weak side, gold is getting weaker, and this is kind of a result of if the markets are strong and investor confidence is good, then the fear factor leaves and everybody doesn't pay attention to the gold. Facebook, still on a slow, steady uptrend. And out of the biggies is probably your weak link. Just nothing there to get your hands on. Okay, so the patterns that we want to keep an eye on, especially in this type of market, is things that have the biggest potential for a breakout. We can see what happened on KPTI, right here at the breakout level. This is the results we expect, is that fry pan bottom breakout. So somebody pointed out today, MNK, you can see how this is acting like a fry pan bottom right off the 50. Something to keep an eye on. Now, I usually don't watch stocks less than 5, but this is a good pattern if you like to trade the lower price stocks. This has at least the potential of coming up here with a fry pan bottom breakout. MGNX. Oh, did we already do that one? We did. This one I will probably be recommending tomorrow because of all the things you can add up that imply a good strong price movement. Fry pan bottom, belt hold, doji sandwich, first target, second target, at least have about a 20% upside just to get to the first potential breakout areas. Then it could kick off much higher from there. Or, this is why I like to buy fry pan bottoms, because they're usually a buildup of something that's, we made good money on one not too long ago from a fry pan bottom. I can't remember what it is. Jeez. AP, I am also going to plan a toss jam session, I guess you're going to call it. Toss has very good scanning capabilities. It's just very cumbersome. I go through a lot of clicks to get to where you want to go. So, probably the weekend after Thanksgiving, we might do a hour and a half, 2 hour session on a Saturday morning. Anybody interested using TOS that would like to see how to improve their scanning capabilities, as well as people that have figured out how to do it, instead of everybody trying to reinvent the wheel, we'll kind of share ideas and see if we can make things a little bit easier to maneuver. This one's going to be recommended. This one's got a nice fry pan bottom, biop. And what do we look for on a breakout? Something strong, like a gap up. And coming out of a fry pan bottom, you get the classic. Out of a fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. So if this is wave 1, look for wave 3 to bring you up in this range. That's still a good looking chart. Whoops. Best Buy, this is another technique that you can see there's a resistance level right here. You can see they bounce straight smack dab off the 50-day moving average. If it comes up through here, what do you got going on? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Again, just a high probability trade setup. Now, this may not have a, well, it'd be a decent rate of return. It'd be, it'd probably be 15, 20%. But the first thing that you want to analyze is, do I have something that has a high probability and a high profit potential? Did I say Best Buy? I meant Bed Bath & Beyond. Sorry about that. But the first thing that we want to analyze is, which direction is it going? Now, there's lots of good charts that may only have a 10, 8, 12% upside potential, of others might have a 30 or 40% upside. However, there's some where the signal is so compelling that you know what your potential target is, even though it's not a big percentage move, you can still make a good profit with a high degree of probability by doing different spreads or selling puts. There's always a way to make some good money knowing, first of all, which direction the price is moving, even though it's not going to be a very big move. Silica. Doji, pop up. With fact, that's got, even if it came up here, that's still going to be a good, looks like about a 30% upside potential. And then if it comes up here, good almost 80% upside potential. INSG, another one that has kind of a, look at all your dojis, look at your support. Now you've got a little J-hook pattern with a kind of a gap up. Where do you think your next target is? Up here. So that's got a decent rate of return. Oh, Bed Bath & yeah, it could be a Best Buy. I see. Go ahead. This Luckin Coffee. There's your J-hook pattern. This is why identifying this right here, look at your double doji setup. The fact that they gap this up, let's make this big. This is why when I do my scans, if I see anything that has big movement to it, I put it on my watch list to see what's going to happen, because this big movement right here told us something. Again, that was the message. The message was there was a huge gap up that was telling us something new was happening in this price movement. ZS. Like this big. There's your best friend breakout. There's your gap up breakout. So ZS is another one that is smaller. Best friend breakout off or up through the 50. Where do you think your next likely target could be? Up in this area? AMBA. There's your little best friend breakout. What are we looking for? If it breaks out through this area, got probably a lot of running room to the upside because of this signal right here. And these I like, or at least you should pay attention to, because where do you think people think this could possibly go to? Again, back up in this area. even if it moved up here from 38 to, whatever that is, 50, 12 points on a $38 stock, that's a 35% upside. Or back up here, or back up here. So something has happened in this one that's gotten a lot of activity, got sold off, but there's been a lot of activity. This is the type that could really get running again when the next phase of buying steps in. And so here's the obvious. Wave 1, wave 2, Morningstar signal going into wave 3, that if this breaks out, what do you got going on? Well, this looked like a 6-point move. 6-point move from here takes you almost up to the $30 area. Or you watch to see which sectors are starting to come back. We made good money a while ago on the auto parts stores. Now you've got a bullish left-right combo in 10, Dana, breaking this level, wave 1, wave 2, look for wave 3. There's your little Morningstar signal on Cooper Standard. So at least now you've got something to hang your hat on. Oversold, a left-right combo. This is why you want to know the top-ranked signals and patterns. You know your best friend signal. Which one had the left-right combo? Can't remember. I'm trying to find a left-right combo. You must have just looked at it. I can't remember which one it was. This one could be it. No. Dan? No. It was a 10. This, almost. A left-right combo is a doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. Now, that's your best friend, Kate. Your best friend signal is what I call the number one as we categorize them as far as or quantify them. A doji followed by a gap up. Darn. I'll try to find some more. I'll find them. Okay, so that's your Morningstar signal. I'll try to, when I see left-right combo with OMF. No, that was your best friend. There's a left-right combo down here. You can see the bullish engulfing right after a doji. That's your left-right. Left being a little jab indecisive, the right being your roundhouse bullish engulfing signal. That combination produces a very high probability trade. One of the few that I don't need to see confirmation is the left-right combo. So you had a little Morningstar signal on AAWW and a pop-up. another one that might be heading back up at least into this range. But the fact they support right on the 50, I don't know where the, whoops, you see something come up through the 50 and support on it, now you figure where's your next target. Could be all the way up here. I don't think, no. There was your best end. And there's your inverted hammer. Okay, whoops, I went through them all. There's your best friend. All right. Zenga. No, that's a morning star signal. Kind of a scoop pattern. All right. This is, again, I getting emails or private messages that why is the market going up? What's making it go up? Don't have to be an analyst. All you have to, there's your left-right combo, bullish engulfing after a doji. You don't need confirmation. If you've been short and you saw that, you closed it out. You just wait for confirmation. Okay, so the ones that look good, I will probably be recommending this because of your belt hold, bullish doji sandwich. If this opens positive, at least we figure the first target, second target, and if it breaks through the 50, it's got a lot of running room as far as a fry pan bottom breakout. And this one, wave 1, wave 2, we'll be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow, anticipating wave 3. Anytime you can analyze, different multiple reasons to be buying. Doji sandwich, breakout, fry pan bottom, held the T-line, wobble breakout. That's got very high prospects of going higher. So every time I look at this one, I remember my poor buddy who got a venereal disease in his eye, but that's because he was looking for love in all the wrong places. All right. Any general questions on candlesticks? Oh, come on, Bert. What a tough crowd. I didn't even. Gold, I think, has been lethargic. Yeah, we did that. All right, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 4.2 seconds, do another double line. Don, a left-right combo is a doji followed by either a bullish or bearish engulfing signal. The left is that little indecisive jab. The right is that big roundhouse. Either both bullish or bearish. I'll try to point some out as we go through here. Boyd, all you can do is stay long, but if it opens lower tomorrow, get ready to take some profits. It needs to stay above the T line. Gamestop. Now there's one that has supported right on the 50, which also kind of equated to the last support level right here. And it looks like it's breaking out through this level, making the 200 your next likely target. STM. Kind of a little, this must be traded overseas. That's why it's so choppy. But you can see the little scoop type pattern. You can be buying this one if you won't have as much analytical ability with it because of the trading overseas. It's going to have a more choppy chart. Disney I should have put on here. I guess they reported that Frozen 2 did some massive number over the weekend. But get ready to buy this on your, you can see there was a huge fry pan bottom. Now you got your classic J-hook pattern setting up. Another J-hook pattern. I'd be buying this one on positive trading. Wave 1, wave 2. And again, notice where wave 2 was, right here at the 200 and the T-line. There's a little left-right combo. So that would have been more compelling. So notice you got a left-right combo, doji followed by a bullish engulfing. And then it confirmed the new uptrend with a doji sandwich. And what do we know about a doji sandwich? There's going to be more upside. So that kind of adds to the credibility of this J-hook pattern setup. Psyop was a fry pan bottom breakout. You want to start it anywhere in here. But the fact that they gapped it up told you they've broken out. It still probably has more upside also. Cincinnati Bell. Not a very, I could say that. You're kind of your wedge formation. And then the breakout. I would watch to see what happens once it gets to the 200, but I'd have my safety stop right here. Did I do Zion? Zion. Got a little morning star signal, doji. You can buy this one on positive trading, also giving you that doji sandwich breakout. Dixie. Nothing to do here. You had a bobble breakout. All you can do is stay long as it stays above the T-line. Oh, Gary, I don't even know the symbol. LAZ9. What's that bring up? And that's apparently not the right one. So if we do that, Columbia, platinum. Nothing. You see, you're kind of in a sideways trend. I wouldn't be long or short this one. Coop. Another slow curve, fry pan bottom breakout. Expect more upside. At least probably coming up to test the top of the channel. Sono, your inverted hammer, that break out of that level, you're in wave 3, you can stay long. Drilling offshore, or diamond offshore, you can be buying this one. It's not a real powerful reversal signal. So when you have a non-signal, let me make this bigger, you don't really have anything that would be a signal. So you have to be a little bit more diligent when you get to a resistance level, because the lack of a signal usually tells you there's not as much steam behind it as what we would consider a full-scale reversal signal. Wayfair, nothing yet. However, If it does open positive and trade positive, now you got your McMuffin, a morning star signal followed by the Doge sandwich. And Alta, nah. I'd be someplace else. That's just not a good tradable chart. PYTK, look at your cradle pattern. You stay long on this one. Still watching to see it come up here and fill the gap again at the 50. And this one backed off a little bit today, but I'd still be a buyer of this one, especially if it trades back up through today's open. As you can see the fry pan bottom, I'm not going to get so many lines on here. You can see the fry pan bottom. You can see the breakout right here. You just stay long on this one. Yeti, nothing yet. I've done that so many times. You think it. Yeti, you can watch. If you're buying this one on positive trading, you do have a morning star type signal off the 200. You just have to make sure it can get through the 50. CWH, we're still holding. Again, there was your belt hold. You can still even be a buyer of this if it comes up through this level. Kind of setting up a little J-hook pattern. Micron doesn't really have any great chart. I should say that. If it breaks through this level, this little downtrend, you can be buying it. Just don't let it come back into this downtrend. So if I was buying on positive trading, I wouldn't want to see it close back below today's close. AKBA, good breakout. Your morning star signal with an inverted hammer. I would suspect this being your first target. GDX shouldn't be doing that well. Yeah, you probably want to be more apt to go short. But the first thing you'd have to watch is what everybody else would be watching, is this kind of support level, somewhere in that range. If it breaks through that, then you're heading down to the 200. Did you do Coop? That line right there. Looks like a J-hook setup. Stay long as it stays above the T-line. Tiva was trying to climb through the 200 today, so if it opens lower, I'd be taking profits. If it opens higher, it tells you the uptrend is still in progress. We did Apple. Apple was still working nice, staying above the T-line. J-hook type pattern. T-Mobile. Nothing there to get excited about. It needed to open positive and trade positive. So here's a perfect example that you had a doji sandwich close above the T-line. Remember, not only is successful trading showing when to get into something, but when to get right back out. So the fact that it opened positive and then closed back below the halfway point of this candle as well as the T-line would have said, get back out of that trade. The bulls did not take control. AUPH, you can stay long, but if this opened lower tomorrow after today's hanging man, I'd probably come out of that trade. CVET, J-hook pattern setting up. You stay long. Angie's List, that one you can get ready to buy. Nice little slow curve. You get the bigger chart looks like. Yeah. Dang, Jiminy Christmas. Type that doesn't like to make the same mistake 7 times. That one you can get ready to buy. Big gap area up here. ENS. Notice what happened here. Came up, failed right to the 50. Came up through the 200. Came right back to the 50. Came up again. Pulled back, this time to the 34. Now your J-hook pattern is in progress. I think we did CYTK. You just stay long after this cradle pattern. If you're long, still not a very powerful chart, and you can see you're still stuck in this downtrend. So, that's just not a good chart, JB. Melly, there's your doji sandwich breakout. There's your Morningstar J-hook. To stay long on this, you don't want to see it close or trade back below today's open. Papa John's. You stay long. There's a left-right combo right there. Doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. J-hook pattern. Well, if you kind of use your wave count, wave 1, which was from 165 to 215, 50 points, that could take you up toward the 260 range. Oh boy, that's your message. So when you are looking at a breakout move like this, then you watch to see when the selling has stopped. It didn't confirm, so they're still selling. Didn't confirm, they're still selling. Now you're getting back pretty close to the trading range that it was in before. You don't want to see that because the message told you there was a new force. You can be buying this one if it starts back up, but if it keeps drifting lower, back to the T-line, it's pretty much telling you there's nothing there. And Loco, nice J-hook pattern breakout. Wave 1, going into wave 3. Report. Good J-hook pattern. You could still be buying this one. And CXO, another breakout. You could be buying this one. Big lots. Kind of a Morningstar cradle pattern, but not a real dynamic looking chart. All I would have done is if I was short, I would have covered the short position. It probably doesn't going long until they can break up through the 50-day moving average. You do sats you can buy on positive trading. Ulta. No. Well, yes. But all that would have told me is if I was short, if it had opened here and traded down, I would have had my safety stop at where it opened. It's still probably going to take you back up, but then you have to watch to see what it does here. So it's still not a real great looking chart because you don't really have any trend to it at this point. Twitter, you can be buying this one. a nice fry pan bottom that came up through the T-line. Cabot. Oh, this is one that if I had been short, I would have covered the short today when it came back up through the high of yesterday. Because if you're in the oversold area and you see it coming back up through the previous day's high, you probably want to start covering. And BJ's, oh boy, if I was going to short it, it'd probably be if it came back down through the close of yesterday. That would be kind of a likely target, but I'd want to see weakness from this level. Right now, you got some buying going on. CrowdStrike, you can get ready to buy this one on positive trading. A little doji gap up. You're sitting right on the 50. Your J-hook pattern is about ready to start. So you pretty much want to kind of break out through this level right there. Net, kind of a piercing signal here. You stay long. Just have your safety stop at the previous day's close. I'm sorry, the previous day's open. And gel, this one you can be buying. First target, second target. Okay, I guess we got them all. All right. Why is this market still heading up? I have no idea. But we can tell that it's still heading up, and that's all we need to know. All right, everybody. We will see everybody bright and early in the chat room tomorrow. We'll see you then.